Hey everybody, I'm TJ Majors, spotter of the 6 Cup car, 8 Xfinity car, and I actually ARCA race this weekend, like your dream, Brett.
Oh, that's my dream. TJ, where'd you learn to parallel park at? Because your parking sucks.
He did it on purpose to piss me off.
You blocked the whole. You literally took up 3 spots with your electric car.
You're being.
Are you charging your car out there?
You're being a Casey right now.
Brett Griffin, spotter this weekend for Chandler Smith. I'm back in Daytona.
Oh, Oyster Pub, get ready.
I was hoping not to see you.
I don't think I'm spending the night. I think I'm in and out.
Saturday, come in Saturday.
I think
Saturday.
So. Yeah, and it's going to be cooler there than it is here. And right now, which I don't believe this in Florida, no rain.
Yeah, there's no chance that happens. There's going to be some rain at some point.
Yeah.
What's up, Freddie Kraft, spotter for Bubba Wallace, Chandler Smith. What's up, Casey?
Hey, Casey Boat here. I don't even know what my job is anymore.
Casey, where were you coming from this morning? Down the little side road.
Oh.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, I was dropping something off at Chad's shop.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Sure.
What? Please.
Was that score?
Whatever. Are you guys like 12?
What was that song? So I creep. Yeah, just keep it on the down
She was coming out of Scores?
Literally like 12 years old, stalking me now. Well, this episode is presented by our lovely new sponsor, Birch Gold Group. Get a free info kit on protecting your IRA and 401k with gold by texting DBC to 989898.
How many weeks is a sponsor new? I'm just curious because I think a new sponsor is like 1 week.
No,
they've been with us now for 3 whole weeks. They're a longtime sponsor of DBC at this point.
No, listen. My favorite thing is listening to how many different ways Casey can say 989-898.
Well, so you got to mix it up a little bit.
So if you have normal ears out there, it's actually 989898, and you text DBC to that number.
What I
said.
Did
you ever realize? Did you ever? I mean, obviously you've realized
sorry,
this, and I can't.
That is what I said.
I can't remember the comedian that said it, but like he said, could you imagine if you didn't have proper phone number etiquette? Like, because everybody's like, my number is whatever. They just rattled off, and if you were like, what? My number is 34897. You know what I mean? Like you would never get the phone number. Right?
Okay, well I may say it different times or different ways, so but you better believe people are going to remember.
This is literally what our listeners are saying to you, but you can't hear the Casey. Casey, can you read that number back again?
Brett, it's 989898.
Freddie, whatever you do.
Hey guys, please text 989898.
Listen, whatever you do right now, text DVC to 989898.
Hey,
or any of those 3 numbers.
Yeah, what about 989?
You got to finish it now.
989898.
Well, now you know they're going to remember. After the shortest race since 1972.
Your 989898s are longer than that race.
William Byron gets win number 5 of the season. How was Watkins Glen for you guys?
Short.
Yeah, well, if you ARCA raced on Friday, you froze your ass off because it was
good. So I didn't ARCA race, but I showed up. I landed and went to the dirt track that night, and it was chilly. Like it was definitely cold.
And then it like rained and misted, and it was
Did Jesse Love win again?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, man.
Win again.
That guy's on fire.
Yeah,
he massaged the back bumper of the 28 in the last corner.
I saw that pass.
Do what you got to do. I think Bob tweeted out or somebody posted a Bob Pockrass prospect list, and Jesse was up there. He was
in
the top 10 for sure.
Yeah. He got 8 wins. I mean, you're probably on some list.
He's doing good. Obviously, he's going to have to take a big step, and he's got some more truck races coming up, I assume. And you would think the natural pattern is he's going to end up in a truck next year. That's going to be a big leap. Not that I'm not trying to bash the ARCA series, but it's not loaded with competitive cars. If he can go out there and there's 3 or 4 that can win at any time, but Jesse's doing a phenomenal job, but he's going to have to take a pretty big leap when it comes next year to get in that truck series.
Well, a lot of those guys, if you noticed, and girls, are Toyota drivers. So TRD has an incredible program. It just clearly shows, the work that they're doing is working.
I wish he could skip the truck series and go right to a decent Xfinity car.
But like we talked about on here, the truck series, if your ultimate goal is to get to the Cup Series, the truck series might be what best prepares you for that right now.
I just think it's easier to show your driver talent.
Oh, absolutely. I agree with that.
Because you could get to the truck series, and you might never leave the truck series. If it gets off on the wrong foot, you don't succeed right there. And the truck series is hard to succeed in because of that. It's hard.
I agree. You look at two people like Haley Deegan and Derek Kraus, like didn't have stellar truck results, but then went out and ran very well in Xfinity cars right off the bat.
Derek ran really good in the college stuff.
I'm assuming Derek's got some more races coming up with the playoffs coming up. But
he does.
Yeah.
He does. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to hear. But that definitely we've talked about it here. The what path you want to take? Show off your talent or prepare yourself for the highest level, and that's a decision these guys are going to have to make coming up.
Winning still cures all.
Yeah, winning. But I just think it would be easier for Jesse in a really good Xfinity car as well as he performs in our ARCA car.
I agree. There's no where are you going to go right now?
That's the thing.
What's the top tier Toyota seats that you think he could potentially get in next year?
I would say I would have him pegged to get in a Tricon truck next year would be the most sensible route, especially because
he already did do a start with Tricon, so I think that's.
I was going to say that, but it's fine. Just cut me off. We'll be fine.
Whatever. All the time. So.
Freddie's already got a start with Tricon.
Oh, does he?
Yeah.
I think he might actually.
Brett, do you know he has a start with Tricon?
Casey knows.
Yeah. Was it the 989898 truck, or was it some other truck?
Stats is all.
Yeah. But so like I was saying, he has starts with Tricon already, and that would obviously make sense. And listen, if a Gibbs ride opened up tomorrow, he's a contender for it. You got to have a paycheck. You got to have a checkbook to bring with you, I would say. But that's where else would you go? You're not gonna. And okay, here's the question: like the second tier Xfinity team. Toyota is probably Sam Hunt.
Sam Hunt, yeah.
Would you rather be in a Tricon truck or a Sam Hunt Xfinity car? I think that the Tricon truck gives you a better opportunity to win races, and we talked about, winning is everything.
But looking at the open spots for Xfinity next year in general, it doesn't seem like there really are, right? Unless there's more
not
movement
many.
than you realize.
We thought that Austin Hill maybe taking off for Colleague Cup Series. He's not.
What do you think the play is on that?
Must be the money.
It must be the money.
I mean, but
or a long-term.
It's so like it could be as simple as you think, all right, I've got money to go wherever I want, and then you start finding out that maybe your money prefers to be where you're already at. So it's the RCR is a very attractive place to be. It's Richard Childress Racing. It's one of the most prestigious teams in our sport. Dale Earnhardt built that. Richard Childress and Dale Earnhardt built that company up to heights that nobody. Just it's one of our iconic teams. But so if you think you're leaving and your sponsors don't want to leave, then guess what? You're staying. But on top of that, what else is available? I don't know. You hear a lot of movement, but all the movement is kind of amongst drivers switching teams at the top level already and taking all those seats. What's Stewart Haas going to do? Stewart Haas might be the only options that we're really not sure about because there's potential that Cole Custer leaves. There's potential that Riley Herbst leaves. So now both of those seats are open. Zane Smith go in there. Who fills those seats? So that's
Does
the only
Zane
one.
Go to Cup or
yeah, potentially. It's there's 3 or 4 guys in the mix for that 10 ride and possibly the 21 ride, and maybe that the one domino has to fall for the other one. I don't know. It's a lot of moving parts right now. That Xfinity Series, you're going to see some changeover, especially some surprising changeover. Guys leaving teams that go to other teams that you wouldn't expect. I don't think. But like I said, it's still going to be. It's still going to be same names. They're just kind of switching teams around, and I feel like it's going to fill a lot of the same seats.
Speaking of silly season, I know Denny's been kind of the talk of conversation lately around his plans for next year, and he states that he is intending on staying with JGR, although no contract is signed. Freddie, obviously, best being having him be your boss.
I would word that differently.
I mean, Denny's great, guys.
That's what I'm saying. The only thing I know is I don't know what they're waiting on because Denny's great. I actually have absolutely no idea where Denny's contract situation's at, but you would think, much like last year, Brett, this is more to your side, it's got to be sponsor related, right? I mean, we see FedEx on the 11 card now less than we ever have, and if they're stepping back even more, that's what the holdup is, I would assume, no?
I mean, to me, it's Kyle Busch all over again. Kyle was in a little bit of a different scenario in that he owned a truck team, but they were all Toyotas. Denny's in the same boat. He owns a Cup team, and they're all Toyotas. And man, if Denny's not re-signed here, wow. I mean, when you look at Joe Gibbs Racing and you look at who's kind of carried the torch the last few years, it's definitely been Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex. I mean, they are a step ahead of that fourth car, no matter if Eric Jones was in it, Christopher Bell's in it, or whoever's in it. So how do you let a guy leave with the credentials that Kyle Busch had? And you look back at that and you go, well, Kyle could have stayed. And Kyle had chances to stay. I don't know if Denny's had those chances yet. We know that he's saying publicly he wants to stay. But if that's true, why isn't it out that he's staying yet? So I think there's something to 2311 Motorsports here that we simply don't know anything about. And I think it has to do with their long-term commitment to Toyota. How can Toyota let Michael Jordan and Denny Hamlin leave as owners? I would be absolutely blown away. The fact that you went and got Jimmy Johnson, okay, good for you, Toyota. But if you let these guys leave your stable, you lost a ton of credibility in my mind in terms of the way you're operating this thing. So to be this late in the season, Freddie, scares me. And because why hasn't he signed yet? And you tell me it's about sponsorship. You're 100% right. Listen, if FedEx was coming back for a full season, he'd probably already be signed back up. But clearly that's not the case. So what's taking so long? If Joe said, we want you to stay, if Toyota said, we want you to stay, if Denny wants to stay, why haven't they announced he's staying?
Yeah, we talked about that with Justin Haley. You know, with his contract, you know, the colleague side had come out and said, we want Justin Haley here. Justin Haley kind of, said he would like to be there. But at the end of the day, those deals didn't work for each other. You know, if you, like, one team's only presenting their side and the other team's presenting their side, if they don't work, they don't work. And I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes of obviously you see the Ford rumors out there with 2311. And is there...
Oh, are they rumors out there? Like,
yeah,
they're public.
They're public rumors out there this week.
Wow.
I've seen some people asking Denny about it.
I heard about it a few weeks ago, but I didn't know it was public.
So here's the thing. Like, if Denny Hamlin moves 2311 to any manufacturers, Ford, Chevy, whoever it is, can he still drive a Toyota? Is that like would either manufacturer want that?
But think about it this way. Hold on a minute. Think about it this way. If there are rumors he's going to Ford with 2311 Motorsports, and there's nothing in his driver contract or owner contract that says he has to drive a Toyota, he could easily go to the 10 car this year and 2311 switch to Ford in 2025. And then he's aligned with Ford all the way around.
But I'm just saying, like, there's no scenario, right, where you could see 2311 going to a different manufacturer and Denny Hamlin staying at Toyota? Like, is that possible?
Well, I mean, how much longer is Denny going to race? So if he can't get a job for next year that's locked down for 2311 or for Joe Gibbs Racing, I don't foresee a multi-year contract coming here at his age unless, I don't know, a miracle happens.
Yeah.
I just know that Toyota has the resources to keep this guy in the camp, and they should want to keep him and Michael Jordan as car owners in their camp, and I can't see them screwing this up.
I feel like it's very similar. I feel like it's not quite taken the negative trend that the Kyle Busch deal
Well,
did
that's
last
because
year.
Kyle was acting like a butthole to Joe Gibbs Racing on pit road every week, and Kyle's comments were they lacked
backhanded.
They lacked class. Yeah. I mean, and look, I think Kyle's fine where he ended up, and he's obviously been good for RCR, and that's the past is the past. But Denny publicly has been very gentlemanlike.
Yeah.
Kyle wasn't.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine that deal doesn't get done, that Denny stays there. But we said the same thing last year, so I don't know. We'll see. Racing fans, hit the gas on nonstop action. Add DraftKings Sportsbook to your race day lineup and level up the thrill of every lap. Bet on your favorite drivers for a shot at taking home major cash. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly.
With props, parlay, and more, the action won't stop till the checker flag drops.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use code CLEAR. New customers can bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Only on DraftKings Sportsbook with code CLEAR.
Freddie, more questions for you. Since
Okay, what do you got?
You're the
Resident
guy of the
expert.
day. Yep, of course. Bubba, obviously a strong finish. I know he gave credit to Scott Dixon and his comments after having those conversations earlier in the day, and he had a very emotional interview, which was really cool to see how much he's learned and how much he's grown in that element from past experience. What do you know about their conversation or even Bubba's mindset going into this next week?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about their conversation, obviously, but I found out about it when Bubba talked about it in his interview. But it's a big thing, and I think everybody in this room knows that they've gone into something knowing that they're not great at it, and it gives you anxiety. It gives you, you can easily, and if you make mistakes, we were running top 10, top 12 at COTA, and Bubba made a mistake and crashed. We made a mistake at Chicago and crashed. So now you've got all these negative connotations about what's going on, and and now your whole season's on the line, and you got to step up and perform. It's really just about believing in yourself that you can do it, because I know Bubba can do it. We've tried to, we can only tell him so many times that we know he can do it. We've seen vast improvement in the Bubba on road courses from the first year we ran Cup to now, and I think that he gets caught up in thinking like, holy shit, all right, perfect example is this week we qualified 12th, which is really good, for Bubba, especially, at that place, we had been normally, mid-teens, maybe 20s, so now you go out there qualified 12th, and I feel like you think, holy shit, I'm hanging on for dear life. There's no way I can do that for 90 more laps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you don't realize that, and it's in your mind, you're telling yourself, I'm so bad at this that I am having to drive my ass off. I'm hanging on for dear life every lap, and these other guys, it's just easy for them. Well, in reality, it's not the case. They're hanging on just as much as you are. So once you kind of get that once you realize that, and you're like, oh, I'm not that much different than anybody. All I got to do is believe in myself and execute, and that's what he did yesterday. He went out there, and we should have finished a lot better than we did. We ran top 10 both stages. Unfortunately, we got a deal on pit road where the 47 was pitted in front of us, and they were going to come up. We were planning on coming on lap 54. And we were, so that was our number. We're coming on lap 54. Well, then the 47 says they're coming on lap 54, which what's going to happen there is they're about, I don't know how many seconds behind us they were, but they're going to have to come around us and potentially block us in, or we would be crossing paths trying to leave the box. So we make the decision, we're going to stay out and run one more lap, let pit road get clear, and then come. Well, of course, Chase Elliott runs out of gas, stops in the bus stop. They throw the fastest caution they've ever thrown on a road course. And we missed the commitment line by, 5 car lengths. And instead of shaking out and running 6th to 7th or restarting 6th to 7th, we restart like 19th, or I think there's some penalties, so 16th. And Bubba does a good job to drive back up into top 12. And I think we ended up with the 7th most points in the day. But it's just that mindset of getting over that hurdle. And somebody like Scott Dixon can just tell you, like, you're being an idiot. Like, you are good at this. If you weren't good at this, you wouldn't be in that car. Like, get out of your own head and go out there and do what you know you can do. And that's what he did yesterday. And hopefully he can take that lesson and move forward. We have the Roval this year. We're going to have X amount of road courses next year.
Can we not have any road courses next year? I'm voting for 0.
Good luck with that.
Listen, let me tell you something. I see everybody bitching about the races, and you text me yesterday, this is painful to watch. This is why we only had 2 road courses for 100 years, because they're not fun. Especially now that the cars drive so good that you can't even pass anybody. At least back in the day, you see how guys would make mistakes and drive off the racetrack and wheel hop and everything else. It doesn't happen anymore because it's.
But with road courses selling out pretty much almost
sell them off
every week, how are we ever going to change that? You can't.
Right? The Michigan sold out. We could do the same thing. If we go to all these other places one time, they'll sell out.
I don't know. Sellout's a loose term around here lately. Let's be honest.
I will say that place was packed.
Camping.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Camping was
that
sold
place
out.
doesn't have that
place
place doesn't
is
have
always
a problem.
going to be packed.
Yeah, that place doesn't have a problem with it.
I don't think Indy wasn't sold out, was it? I don't think last week.
It was close. A couple 100,000 short.
But this is why
back-to-back road courses is hands down the worst thing that could possibly happen on this schedule this year. Please, dear God, don't do it again next year.
Here's a question I have for you, because I was looking at Gluck's poll this morning, and they were talking about this last night on Teardown. This race is trending to be about 40%. It was a good race. Last week was 70%.
I don't know what those 40% was.
But last week was 70.
Cinderella won the ball last week.
Right now it's 63% no,
Yeah.
37
Think about last week. You had one major factor, the most popular driver in NASCAR chasing a guy who's only won one race.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. I'm just
That's
saying.
a compelling win.
I'm just saying on the track, that race, yesterday's race and the other race.
Last week's race sucked just as bad as yesterday's race sucked. The only difference was Chase Elliott was chasing Michael McDowell for the race, and after running the entire race with only one caution, they were close to each other. Yesterday, once again, we ran the entire race with only one caution, and it was listen, I'm speaking to you as a race fan. I don't have a dog in this fight. The last two races on television, bless NBC's heart, they did a phenomenal job of making it entertaining. The racing was horrible.
But you said remove stage breaks, so you don't want any cautions. But
All the stage breaks bring are people diving into the corner and wrecking each other. I mean, that's all the stage breaks really do.
Listen, I'm gonna.
They also bring an unfair advantage because strategies create different strategies, right? Because of we know when a caution's coming. So no, I'm all for no stage breaks still.
So just adjusting this. I think adjusting the length of the stages is what's going to help this if we're not going to have cautions. J.R. Houston, big fan of the spotters, big fan of our show, brought up a really good point on Twitter the other day in a thread. If you want to go find him and read it, and we'll just take yesterday's race for example. Here, we always talk on here about running the race backwards, was what majority of us did yesterday. What running the race backwards means is we can run 36 laps on fuel.
We ran it forward.
And did you run it forward? Yeah, yeah.
No, we did actually.
But and you can. That's a different strategy. But and this is going to get a little long, but bear with me. So we can go 36 laps on fuel. So what you do is subtract 36 from 90, get you to 54. 36 from 54 gets you to 18. So now you're going to pit at lap 18. You're going to pit at lap 54. You're going to go to the end of the race. You're doing that because you're going to try to catch cautions. Well, the stage breaks yesterday are at 20 and 40. So what happens is instead of pitting at 18 to run it backwards, if you're in the top 10, you're going to run to 20, 21. And then, it's not that big a difference. It's really not a lot of decision making there because it's pretty easy. It's only 2 or 3 lap difference. If you just break it up in thirds yesterday, the race is 90 laps, you go 30, 60, 90. Now that becomes a bigger decision because now you're talking about pitting on 18 instead of 30. Now that's a big window to potentially catch a caution, potentially flip the field. So if you're going to run the race backwards and attempt to win it, you're going to pit at 18, you're going to pit at 54 still, but now you're forfeiting those stage points to do that. So I think if you adjust these stages to where it makes the decision-making harder, where I can't just run to the stage, pit, it's only 3 laps off my number, then I run to the next stage, it's easy, it's 40, I'm going to go to 50-something anyway. Like, if you make these guys have a harder decision about these stages, then you'll see more strategy. You'll see different happen. And if you do catch a caution, you're going to flip the field a little bit. And I think that's what, if we're going to stay with this no cautions, that's what we need to do. We need to adjust the stage. We need to break it up in thirds or you have the same information we have, NASCAR. Like, what the fuel windows are. Adjust the stages to make these guys make a decision. Am I going to race for the race win or am I going to race for stage points here? And you'll see some different strategies, and I think you'll make the racing at least a little more interesting.
It's time for one of two things to happen. We need a Gen 7A to be developed for short tracks and road courses, or we need to just go ahead and skip and go to Gen 8. Because I'm telling you, we went from road courses and short tracks being phenomenal and ovals sucking. We flipped the switch. Ovals are phenomenal, and the short tracks, and I'm sorry, I'm a short track guy. I love short tracks. And these road courses they're extremely hard to pass. And I have to say this, it's going to hurt people's feelings. The tire, the last 2 weeks, was garbage.
Well, I mean, traditionally, Watkins Glen has been one of in the last few years, has been the least amount of fall off in the series. And we saw yesterday, I don't know, did they ever get the left rear tire off the 14 car?
I think they're still taking it off right now.
So the left rear tire made it the entire race. Like, that's an issue. You know what I mean? Like, I know it probably didn't have the same speed it did maybe when it started, but it went the entire race. I remember back in the day, I would do some start and park Xfinity stuff, and they would run to the first stage or whatever because they knew that's all they could run. They can't run any further because the tires would blow out and they'd wreck their car. So, you can't have these things last forever and ever and ever. And
as a NASCAR fan, if I wanted to see this kind of racing, I would watch IMSA or F1. Yeah. I would. I'm telling you, as a NASCAR fan, I'm not going to keep watching these races because there's no door-to-door action. There's no passing. There's no. It's an F1 IMSA race, and I don't like F1 or IMSA.
Yeah,
I'm a NASCAR fan.
I don't think. I think the Cup cars at these road courses are entirely way too easy to drive.
You say that, TJ, and I believe you, But when they show these in-car cameras, and I think your driver might have been one of them, AJ was one of them, AJ's head was bouncing around there like a bobblehead.
Well, that's
And I'm
because they're
like-
off the racetrack.
And I'm like, holy cow. But his head was bouncing around way more than everybody else's. I mean, it's like he was doing the Dougie and everybody else was slow dancing.
Yeah, but their head moving around. They're not.
So, I mean, yeah, easy to drive, yeah, but it's violent
They're
inside the
not.
car.
Yeah, because they're running over curbs, because the track limits don't exist. We just pave areas and run them off and let them run over there. And
The
these
speed,
cars,
the speed through the chicane, to your point, it's like they're driving straight.
yeah, because they flattened all the curbs out. They're just flying through there.
Like that used to be a heavy braking zone, passing zone, and now
Sketchy.
you just haul
Sketchy.
ass through there.
That's why this is what, there's two things wrong here. One, the cars are so easy to drive. These guys are driving to the edge of the tracks wherever they pave, and there's no penalty for it. Like nothing. How many wrecks did we used to see in turn one? A lot.
All weekend long. When you started practice, guys
Somebody
wrecked.
spun out.
When you qualified, guys spun out. When you
Yep.
started the race, guys spun out.
I don't think we had one wreck into turn one.
That's a joke.
And the running off thing, they just run over the curb and hammer down. And that's the thing. That's where the speed is. It's when you can get the power down, but you're only worried about getting the power down because you're driving over a curb right there. And the same thing out of the carousel. They're just flying over there using the racetrack up. And how they're doing it between, what do you turn 6 or 7 or 10 and 11?
No, well, I call it 10 and 11 because I'm old.
They
but
run
yeah.
off there now.
Way off. Yeah.
Like-
there used to be sand there.
That's how the Love Machine won the ARCA race. I mean,
The love machine.
I like
he ran.
that.
He ran way over to the right there and found some grip and some speed and got to the 20 in
got
the
to his
last
bumper.
corner. But
Yeah.
they're just watching William Byron and these guys yesterday. William did a phenomenal job of just driving to the edge of the track, and those guys had a really fast car. But man, there was no. How many wrecks you see in the bus stop most of the time?
Oh.
Yeah, a lot. We had one guy spin out, Suarez. I mean, was that the only guy that
He
wrecked
was the
on
only guy
bus
that
stop?
spun out, yeah. Yeah.
How is that even possible?
So I'm going to ask y'all this. What do we got? 6 road courses on the schedule this year? 6 road courses. So is that too many?
Yes.
yeah, with this car for sure.
But what do you remove besides Indy, obviously?
Well, Indy can go to Oval. Roval can go to Oval. That leaves you with 4. I don't mind taking – I know this is going to make y'all surprised, color me surprised. Move Chicago to Montreal if you're going to run an extra road course there. Like, I don't know. It's just too many.
I thought that.
As a NASCAR fan, it's too many.
Did you listen to the teardown yet?
No.
So Gluck was very, very concerned.
I heard he gave me
about-
a lot of shout-outs.
He's very concerned about your opinion last week. But they had a very, it will never, ever happen, but I thought it was very funny to bring up. They said that, like, Indy and Indy and Charlotte don't have to declare what their race is. Like, let's run the first and we'll see if, like, the road course package sucks. All right, now we're running the oval.
Yeah.
Same thing. If the oval package sucks, all right, we're gonna run the road course. So like that's something to think about. Like if we get, especially the Roval in the playoffs, like if the road course package sucks and the 600's great, yeah, you know what? That's gonna be an oval race when we get to the playoffs.
I was in the process of listening to the teardown when I pulled in the gate this morning, and I got a text from somebody that said, Jeff Gluck asked me not to listen at the end of the show.
Jeff Gluck gave you a What an Idiot award.
He did?
On their
Ooh,
show. Yeah.
Good.
Please share.
He said, he just said you're an idiot for following his advice and taking Chase Elliott.
I went down to Freddie during the race, and I was like, Freddie, should we text Gluck, do like a
wellness check.
wellness check here?
We should have done a group chat with Gluck for the whole race.
We were going to do a wellness check there, and because been arrested and listened to the 9 down,
poor
the 9
guy.
down this week.
All right, well, let's continue chatting Watkins Glen in Spot On, Spot Off. First topic, Ty Gibbs says, I'm racing on Sunday. He has more starts and I have more wins after Sam Mayer turned him on a late race restart racing for the win. Spot on, spot off, Brett.
I'm spot off for Ty even honestly saying what he said, to be honest with you. I think it's very obvious who's further along in their career. I've had some conversations with drivers in the past about who they elect to talk about and who they elect to tweet at based on what level you're at and what level they're at. So if I'm a Ty Gibbs, I'm not worried about Sam Mayer. Listen, I think it's great that there's this rivalry there, but the reality is they're rarely in the same series together anymore. And I love that they hate each other. I love that they show us that they hate each other. But Ty in this situation, spot off for the quote.
Yeah. I mean, on the track, listen, we said it on here last year. I think we were actually in the old studio and we said it. these guys hate each other. Like, and it's not like a manufactured, like, oh, we're in one. These two guys literally hate each other. And hate's a strong word. They hate each other. And listen,
I'm here for it.
Yeah, and I don't know that Sam intentionally dumped Ty, but I can tell you one thing: he had all the intentions of running into Ty. And it's kind of the same thing we said about Ty and Brandon Jones on the show last year. And like I went back and listened, was listening to Teardown obviously last night, and to Gluck's credit, he went on a very long rant about this. And to Gluck's credit, he said verbatim on that show what he said on here last year after Martinsville about Ty and Brandon Jones. And similar situation for me. Like, I know Ty meant to run into him. Now, did he mean to wreck him? I don't know. But listen, and at the same time, like I said, these guys hate each other. If these roles are reversed, Ty is doing the same exact thing to Sam. They're going to drive into turn one, square that guy up, and knock him out of the way. Where he ends up, they probably neither one of them care. And Sam went on, and Sam still had to drive his ass off after that to get back and pass Creed, I think it was, to get to the lead.
Who got in oil.
Yeah, and he wasn't, which, God, the track was dirty as yuck at the end of that race. And
you don't even have to beep that out. That word you just made
nobody
up.
seemed to care.
I've never heard that before.
But
yuck.
I think that's okay.
Yeah,
Foo yuck totally is okay.
Roll with it.
He wrecked the foo yuck out of you.
it's a couple
That word just came to fruition.
It's a couple extra U's. It's all it is. But so here's Gluck's point. I'll ask this to you guys, and TJ, you step in here first. Like, Gluck wants NASCAR to step in. When Gluck wants to know when is too much going to finally hit where we can't just continue to wreck the leader. Like, not so much intentionally wrecking people throughout the wreck, which they have already showed intentionally rearing somebody. But if you just go in there and clean the leader out, would you want NASCAR to step in and do something?
I mean, there's been times, yeah. I mean, I wanted that to happen at Richmond one time when Kyle Busch decided to turn Dale Jr. But no, I don't know, man. That's a really – if you do that, we are going to have to go strict like it's going to have to be really strict, kind of like Formula One strict. Like, you initiate contact that's avoidable, and that's not the way – I don't think that's the way our sport is. But I get it. Like, Sam did wheel hop before he got there. I know that's a term we don't use there much anymore, but Sam did wheel hop.
Well, that's a different car is why.
Well, he wheel hopped because he was driving in there to run into him, I think.
I mean, maybe, or he was going in there to win the race. I mean, we've seen this before. Like, the last year, same thing with teammates, right? So, I don't know. Like, I do think no matter who the leader is, if you're leading, I'm leading, Brett's leading, if Dale Jr. is leading that race, I think Ty Gibbs runs into him no matter what. And I think that's something that just self-polices itself down the road. In old NASCAR, in the old days, you wouldn't do that to guys because
back to the comment, though. Ty Gibbs is saying, I'm better than Sam Mayer. Does he really have to say that?
No.
I think Ty is wasting his time doing this. I think Ty, like...
But would you prefer Ty said no comment when they interviewed him? Or
I
would you prefer something more exciting?
I would just
go
never
right
see
to
that. I won't see that guy again the rest of the year.
I would just go say, yeah, we ran
That's like Kyle Larson saying, I'm better than Ty Dillon. I mean, he doesn't have to say that. We know that. I don't mean anything about to Ty Dillon, but
that tells me that what Sam's doing is getting under his skin.
It is.
Oh,
so
they hate each other.
But I get it. But like, the bigger thing to do there would be just to ignore it, because now Sam knows that he can rattle him if he needs to, and I mean, I think it's great. But
I hope the next time they're racing together and they're lined up behind one another, that coming to the green, Sam's just wearing his bumper out, because I think now you said it, you're in his head.
I mean, I definitely think, Ty could.
They're going to fight again at some point.
That'd be great.
I agree. I'm here for that too.
Austin Hill signs a multi-year extension.
Speaking of fighting,
to race for RCR's Xfinity Series program. Spot on, spot off. TJ.
We touched on this a little bit ago. I'm confused here, but I'm not very educated on it. I fully expected Austin Hill to be going cup racing sometime soon, and I don't know if that's still in the cards, or maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but there was a lot of rumors about him going cup racing, and I was kind of shocked to see him going back Xfinity racing for multiple years, even though I know.
Well, they announced multiple years.
Yeah, I don't know if that means.
Yeah, that was a tricky announcement the way they worded it. I think that he signed a multi-year agreement. Look, here's what I hope he signed. Okay.
yeah,
I don't know what the he signed, but here's what I hope he signed.
you said it wrong.
Foo yuck. I don't know what the foo he signed.
He's gonna go to TIFF.
Well, here's what I hope
Andrew's
he
gonna go to
signed.
TIFF. Like, so.
I hope he
is
signed
this
a
okay?
multi-year agreement at RCR, and in the event he gets approached with a full-time Cup opportunity and RCR cannot match it, Austin Hill has the ability to leave. TJ's right. Yes, he was talking to other teams. Yes, one of them was colleague. He had talked to other manufacturer teams, and it didn't work out for him. And it didn't work out for him because a lot of times when you're a rookie, you got to have enough financial backing to make it make sense. Not everybody's willing to go out there and sign, the next big thing. And I mean, look at Chase Briscoe. They went out there and signed him. He didn't have any money attached to his name. Kyle Larson, when he was signed, same thing, right? But sometimes rookies need money to help them, and it doesn't mean family money. It just means sponsorship. And I think that Austin Hill did what's best for his career at this point. Once you get to the point you aren't going to get in a high enough level Cup ride, then that's the point where you decide, man, I'm better off to stay here, win races. And he's winning races. He's competing for championships. One of the best plate racers and one of the fastest plate cars in the series. That's fun to do. Been fortunate to be a part of that, and as has TJ in over the years. But I'm surprised that he went as far down the road as he went with these Cup teams, and it didn't work out. Because what happens now is, and listen, I work with drivers like this. Chris Rice and I sat down with a driver, said he had $3 million, and when it came time to do the deal, he had $1 million. That's a big difference. Well, the next time that guy comes around saying he's got money, you are very guarded, right? So I think Austin Hill's a talented race car driver. I think he's Cup ready, and I think Sam Mayer better watch out because he said he's mad at him. And
He said he can kiss his ass.
And he'll kiss his ass and kick his ass. I would be concerned if I were Sam Mayer.
I think that you see this, and we saw this, legitimately this offseason or this silly season with guys saying, you hear rumors of guys going to certain teams because they've got money, and then you see that guy go to other teams, and it's because they didn't have the money that they said they had or thought they had. So like you said, I think this is just the same thing of, do I want to sit in the Xfinity Series and win races? He was in position to win that race the other day. He was on the best tires, closest to the front, and I think he restarted outside of Ty on that last restart.
Yep.
And obviously Ty gets shoved up in front of him and cost him a lot of spots. That's why he would like to kick Sam's ass, apparently. But,
we all knew.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knew on the roof that.
And I'm going to tell y'all something, man. Ty, he didn't have that door closed. He was not all. He was setting himself up to make an apex. You're not making an apex on a restart with a race on the line.
Shallow up.
He wasn't. He did. I don't know if you guys saw. I know you saw it live, but if you've not seen a replay, he was nowhere near far enough right going into the last restart of the day on turn one.
No, he wasn't near.
He was restarting like it was lap one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to get off this corner.
I don't care what arc Ty takes right there. That blue missile was going to hit him no matter.
Yeah.
But maybe that missile ain't as engaged.
Maybe.
If he could see daylight.
Yeah.
Would you have left him daylight?
No, I wouldn't have left any daylight. I would have jumped the out of the start, first of all. I've been gone. But,
the out of the start.
Yeah, the out of it.
We're just good.
Man. But I'm kind of surprised Austin put himself in that scenario, honestly.
Code cuss words brought to you by BBC.
I don't know. I don't remember where they were before. Did Austin just choose the front row, or was he second? Obviously he chose the front row, but I didn't know if he was second or third.
I think he was. It was going to be a pretty far drop. It would have been fifth, but when these two guys are going to hit each other, obviously
you just hit them too.
Sheldon Creed was in.
And that's probably where
we
he
actually chose before Sheldon, and we chose the left side. And Sheldon, we left the right side open for Sheldon, which I was a little worried about that, but it ended up working out because off that corner, Josh is racing Sheldon up through the S's for the lead of the race. But man, it's exciting though. I'm glad. It was it was interesting. Gran Turismo, based on a true story, is a movie based on the unbelievable true story of a team of unlikely underdogs: a struggling working class gamer, a failed former race car driver, an idealistic motorsports executive. Together, they risk it all to take on the most elite sport in the world.
Directed by Neil Blomkamp, the movie features an incredible cast led by David Arbor alongside Orlando Bloom, Jaimin Hansu, Jerry Hollowell Horner, and Archie Madekwe as Jan Mardenborough.
It's an inspiring, thrilling, action-packed movie that proves that nothing is impossible when you're fueled from within.
Get your tickets today. Rated PG-13. And check out the trailer.
What are we gonna do?
Well, shut up!
I'm not missing my race. Oh, I'm gonna puke. Don't pick up my dad's car. Yes, we're not going to jail! Oh, crap.
Listen, son. You think you're gonna play a stupid video game about cars and you're gonna become a race car driver?
All I ever wanted to do is be a racer. I'm doing it.
The 10 of you are the best Gran Turismo players in the world. Now is your chance to race real cars.
This is insane.
It's not gonna work. The guys who race are elite athletes. Your kids are scrawny little gamer kids.
That's where you come in.
You think you can do the impossible. I'm here to prove that you can't.
You get tired, you get sloppy, you get hurt, and you lose races!
You puked on my lawn. I know what I'm doing. I'm not afraid. I've raced this track 1,000 times in the game. Let me drive it my way.
That was actually pretty great.
We have a newcomer this year. His presence is shaking the foundation of the sport.
This is the major leagues. The other drivers, your pit crew are going to hate you.
Much easier with a joystick, isn't it?
I can't see anything.
I'm not sure if I can do this.
Most people can't. I got a feeling you're not most people.
If I lose more than just a race. So I'm not gonna quit.
You've got to prove to everyone that you belong.
You've raced it, what, like 1,000 times? Now you just gotta do it in real life.
Gran Turismo, based on a true story.
But I won't stop now.
Let's move on to Bubble Watch, since this is the last race before the playoffs.
This is going to be fun right here.
Oh, yeah. Spot on, spot off.
No, it's not.
Someone from outside of the cut line will race their way into the playoffs.
Before we...
Daytona.
I am so glad I'm not in that situation.
So before we do this and hand this thing off to Freddie, because Freddie's the only one who really matters.
Yep.
Here's who has to win at this point, and I'm going to say his name because in my mind, 30-plus points at Daytona is a lot. So Ty Gibbs, can he win a plate race? Can he win at Daytona?
Yes.
TJ?
I don't believe so.
I don't either. Daniel Suarez?
I don't believe so.
Now it gets good. Alex Bowman?
Yes, but there's an asterisk there.
AJ Allmendinger?
It's going to be tough.
Chase Elliott?
Asterisk.
What the does asterisk mean?
Well, they're going
It means
to.
they got fast cars, but they don't always race.
But now you have. It was easier when you had. It would have been easier if you had one car you had to get in. Now you have two cars that are racing for that position. You know,
Tell
going
me
into
about it.
there, if Bowman was already in or Chase was locked in, they are gonna line some cars up, and they are not gonna leave the bumper of that car, and we've seen it before.
Chevrolet orders are going to be massive. All right, here we're going to keep going though, because a lot of these guys have
You're gonna
wins
get
at
to the-
Daytona.
I
and
have
Talladega.
two guys
What-
circled on my list.
I can't wait to hear what they are.
What will Chevy's orders be, though?
I don't know. We're not there yet. Austin Cindric, can he win Daytona? He won at Daytona 500. Why are you shaking your
He
head?
has before, so I got to put him on the list that he can.
Justin Haley,
Yes.
Ryan Preece,
Yes.
Eric Amarola,
Yes.
Todd Gilliland.
No.
I'm going to give you two. Actually, I got to go three more. I was only going to go two more. Corey LaJoy,
Yes.
Eric Jones,
Yes.
Austin Dillon.
Yes.
Holy people are like, holy shit. People are like, oh, it's going to be really hard. I don't think we're going to have a new winner. There's 10 guys right here that have won plate races in the top 3 series that are going to be highly competitive. I think the Justin Haley, AJ Allmendinger thing is going to be the hardest because they're not a key partner, and Chevrolet could care less if they make it. They're going to want to put their boys in there, which is Chase Elliott and Alex Bowman. But I still think Daniel Suarez, there's a bunch of guys on here, Freddie, that make me nervous for you.
Who's the two guys you think I got circled?
I hope it's Corey LaJoy and Chase Elliott.
I think you're
It
going
is
to
not.
have Eric Almirola, and I think you're going to have
Austin Dillon.
Nope. Close.
No.
Ty Dillon.
Say Cindric.
Cindric. Austin
Why?
Cindric
Yeah.
and Eric Almirola are the two guys that I am concerned the most about because one manufacturer seems to dominate control of these races, and it's Ford. And then if they get control of the race, it's hard to get it away from them. And if they've got team orders, majority of these
I hope
Fords
the 6 controls the whole race.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, you still need to win. Not that you need to win to get in the playoffs, but you need to win for playoff points because that's a big deal for you.
I'll go ahead and tell you, if
to
we're
get
leading,
the next, yeah,
we're gonna go,
yeah,
go for the win.
You know, but everybody else is kind of, their interest maybe lies better in getting the Penske guys are going to be trying to get the 2 in. You know, the
Joey Logano ain't gonna give a about the 2 winning.
Oh, you're right. But and Ryan Blaney shouldn't because they've had issues. But there's going to be team orders there of some sort. So those are the guys, and like you said, both of them have won plate races before. You're worried about everybody. But and the thing is, like I said it on here last week, and it's kind of come to fruition that I almost didn't want to have a points buffer going in because you want to go in there and just race your ass off.
Yeah,
and.
You want to give those points up today? Then?
No, absolutely not. But it still puts you in a position where you've got to make a decision. And like it's easy to say, all right, like we talked about the last 2 weeks. Go out there, have a clean race, make them guys chase you down and beat you. Well, you don't want to do that here because this is if you just sit back and run in the back, safest place to be, obviously. First of all, it's not 100% safe.
Yeah.
It's not 100% safe, but it's manageable back there. And Ty Dillon goes and wins 2 stages. Now it's a 15-point deficit or something like that. 12-point deficit the rest of the race, and you're like, now I got to race this guy heads up pretty much. On the flip side, if we can go up there and gain 7 or 8 points and make that advantage 39-40 by the end of the second stage, then they can't catch us in points. So now I think you have to weigh both options of put yourself. We've seen last year in this race, lap 6, there's a huge pileup and takes out Ryan Blaney, who ends up getting a bunch of damage, who's in the battle for points. I think he ended up getting in because of, Truex ends up wrecking after that somehow.
And it made minimum speed under yellow.
Yeah.
I think there's a wild card here too. And I'm not smart enough to tell you that analysis on it, but there's a handful of spotters up there that have won a lot of plate races, and I call them plate races, between the Xfinity Series and Cup Series. Those guys tend to find their way to the front. Those same spotters, they know what information to give. Obviously, their drivers are good at what they're doing there in fast cars. But, I've seen guys win races getting terrible information on the last lap. Swerve back and forth. I'll go, what does that mean? I saw – I'm not going to get into it, but I think when you look at, the guys that have won a lot of plate races, the drivers and spotters that have won a lot of plate races together, I think you're going to find those guys up front. And look, Cindric and Doug have been hitting on all cylinders at this place. You and Bubba have been hitting on all cylinders at this place, even though y'all haven't won a lot of races yet. You've won some, and some gives you the confidence to know you're giving good information. I remember we got to Big Al's one night after a Daytona Talladega race, and you were like, I screwed up. I told him this, and I told him the opposite of what I should have told him. You won't do that again. You won't make that mistake again. So it's I think there's a lot of guys that can make this night very, very fun and interesting. I just hope that it's going to be hot. Even though it's going to be at night, it's going to be 90 degrees during the day. So when we start that race, it's going to be slick. There's going to be a lot of fun factors. One caution, we had 2 cautions over the last 2 weeks. Obviously, we're going to stop for stage breaks. We're going to see wrecks this weekend.
Yeah. And there's a whole nother factor to this bubble thing that a lot of people aren't talking about is we're 30 points out of the playoffs on the owner's side. And that's where it really matters. Not that the Drivers' Championship doesn't matter, but to these team owners, to the value of the charter, to a lot of different things, the owner's points is more important than the driver's points.
Yeah.
And we're 30 points behind the 9. So now.
And the 9 asked about that yesterday for that reason.
Really? Oh, yeah, I didn't even see that.
Yeah, during the race. Yeah,
but,
once he got his problem.
But so now, that lends itself to, hey, we need to just go up there and race our ass off. And to your point, Bubba is very good at this. We worked very hard over the last 10, 15 years, whatever it's been, to get good at this. And that can put us in position to potentially affect the outcome of the race, affect who wins. We could either put ourselves in position to win, or we could help a guy that's already won win the race. So I think it lends itself to, and if it's up to me tomorrow, if they call me tomorrow and say, what do you want to do? You know me. We want to race.
So end of the race, you're sitting P4. And
we 2x2.
Yeah, we're sitting P4. We're getting ready to pick for the final green-white checker, right? Because we're going to assume that we're going to make it back to the white flag. On the top side, you've got 2 Hendrick cars that have picked up there. You've got Byron and Larson, 1 and 2. And on the bottom, you've got Austin Cindric. Who are you picking behind?
Austin Cindric.
You ain't going to push him, are you?
Not a damn chance. I'm going to push him. Right up until it's gonna, I'm gonna not to the white. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna push him as far as you can help yourself a little bit, but not past them guys. That's what I'm saying. Like we almost need to be up there to be in position to manipulate the race, or have an effect on the outcome of the race.
Where do you want to be leading on the last lap? Coming to the white flag. Do you want to be in second place? Think you're racing to the checker, or do you want to be leading?
You cannot think you're racing to the checker.
Yeah, I'd like to be leading, and that's what happened to us at Talladega. We're blocking in turn 1 because there's no guarantee that the whole field doesn't wreck behind us.
You're racing to the white.
Yeah.
So going back to the start of the race, do you see guys maybe hold back a little bit until towards the end?
There's going to be some guys that don't care about stage points but the problem now, and especially now, it's not like it was 3 years ago. You can't ride in the back the whole race and then make a charge late because that's just not what this package does anymore. So if we do say, all right, we're going to go up there, you know what, we made the decision. We're going to ride around and see what kind of stage points them guys get. Okay, well, if they get some points, now we got to go race. Well, guess what? We're not going to just be able to drive back up there like you have been in years past. No. It's going to take time. It's going to take if you could say maybe you sit and watch the first stage and see how that goes and then go race. But, you can't sit the whole race and then go, all right, I'm going to go run with 20 to go and go run up in there and get me a decent finish.
I'll tell you, and the guy who's really good at this, Freddie, is Denny Hamlin.
Oh, yeah.
You'll see him lay back, and all of a sudden he's up there, and you're like, where'd he come from to get started? Like, he is one of the best at knowing when it's go time and when it's not.
So on that note, Ty Gibbs obviously has a shot. Bubba with another shot. What would Denny do in this situation? Who would he help?
That would be a son of a bitch for him, huh? Like
Bubba Wallace, he ain't got a contract from Joe Gibbs yet.
That's true. Imagine it being him. Like,
what makes him more money? Bubba Wallace winning or Ty Dillon winning?
Bubba Wallace winning.
I know what I'm doing.
I mean, Ty Gibbs.
I'm here to cash checks, not write them.
You don't think Ty Dillon? He's going to push Ty Dillon?
He ain't going to push Ty Dillon either. Ty Gibbs, my bad.
I'm just glad I'm not. I did not want to sit at this table and have the discussion on having to race our way in. Because
and that's why I said it last week. Like I'd almost I'm very happy with the position we're in, but it makes you have to consider a lot of different options this week.
But you're also, and I'm not trying to discount what you guys have done for the year because I know you're 25 weeks into this thing and you've given up your whole livelihoods to be able to get here. You're in this position because Chase Elliott snowboarded and right-reared somebody on purpose. You're in this position because Alex Bowman got hurt. Look, one man's misfortune is another man's fortune. Good for you, but it all comes down to you got to execute to take advantage of that, or none of it matters.
Yeah, my dad won multiple championships at Riverhead, and he said always told me the second you stop doing what got you there is when you get
collapse.
In trouble.
Yeah.
So if you ask me tomorrow, I want to go up there, lead every lap, and win the damn race. And if we get wrecked, that's what happens.
NASCAR is in discussions with Netflix to have this season's playoff docuseries aired on the streaming platform. Spot on, spot off, Brett.
Spot on. I don't know a lot about this. It seems like to me we're a few years late to this party. But Netflix has, over 200 million subscribers? Is that right? So, obviously, that's 2/3 of America. The population here is like 300 million. So, I'm all for this. I hope that it's well put together and represents us well. And it has some drama because, I've been involved in a few docuseries over the last few years, and you got to have drama, manufactured or not.
Freddie?
Yeah, I think that this did wonders for Formula One. I think this did wonders for golf. There's a really good golf, same type of show, the Drive to Survive. And I think it's maybe, to Brett's point, we're late to the party, but now this might be a good time because the Formula One races have been so bad that I'm sure that they're losing it. People are losing it. Whatever interest they gained from this Netflix series, it's starting to plateau.
So you think Jason Schultz is no longer obsessed with Formula One?
I mean, how could you be? Like I get it. Like, and Formula. This is not really that much different than Formula One's always been. It's never been a very competitive sport. But this guy wins by 30 seconds every week. Like, you watch a race and they build the hype up of Verstappen qualified 8th today. It's going to be a hard race for him. And lap 3 he's leading. It's like Jesus. But so this might be the perfect time for NASCAR to jump in here, where the fan experience, the fan isn't so enamored with Formula One anymore, and maybe they're looking for another avenue, and we jump in here and present a good show, a good product on there. Maybe we could steal some of them people away.
TJ.
Yeah, I always think it's always good to get behind the scenes and show the what goes on during the week, and especially if there's some rivalries that form and some drama. I'm sure there'll be some sort of drama that happens. Obviously it's going to be a tense week for Freddie over here in that group. It could go either really good or really bad, and whether he's going to admit it or not, he's going to be thinking about it all week. But there's a lot there's a lot behind the scenes that I think fans would get into.
Now, we've had this discussion before because I think they've tried this and there were maybe some concerns or issues with drivers and teams and more of the financial side of things. How do you think this works as far as does NASCAR get the financial piece? How does that work, since there are so many different aspects of this sport that would be involved?
I have no idea.
I wouldn't know. I mean, obviously NASCAR owns all of the content that comes inside of our fences all weekend long, so I would think that they're selling this to Netflix, and then if it goes well, you sell it for a bigger amount. I mean, having known some folks that were on TV shows like The Voice the first year and knowing what they made the first year and knowing what they made the last year, it changed drastically because of the popularity of it. So it's almost like you're running a pilot here to see what interest you can get, and hopefully the interest is there. I mean, I always tell people when they ask me career advice when they're younger, don't ever take a job for the money, take a job for the opportunity, and I think the opportunity here is big, and if you go out and you deliver great content, the money will come.
Moving on, and y'all will be idiots if you spot off this one. The hosts of the Dale Jr. Download and Door Bumper Clear are getting together for a live show on Friday, October 13th at the Westgate Las Vegas Resort and Casino.
Let me tell you, Casey, what the VVIP package gets, and y'all are going to go crazy. This is for $2,000 per couple, so $1,000 a person. Meet and greet with Dale Jr., commemorative Dirty Mo Media Live autographed gift. The experience at the racetrack, you're going to get sweet tickets. You're going to get transportation to and from the racetrack, and you're going to get a freaking suite to stay in while you're out there. And in addition to that,
a suite to stay in.
A suite to
not
stay
at
in.
The race.
Yes, you get a suite to stay in at the race, and you get a suite to stay in at Westgate, and the coolest part is you get front row seating to this show that we're doing live out in Las Vegas, something we've never done before. We're excited about. The VIP package, same thing. Signature hotel room, Dirty Mo Media Live, 2 tickets to the show with second and third row seating. You also get a commemorative autographed Dale Jr. gift, grandstand tickets, neon garage passes, transportation to and from the race. That one is only $1,000 a couple, $500 a piece. And then obviously beyond that, there's reserved seating that's for sale. We tried to make it as affordable as possible. And, man, it's limited seats in this thing. I'm excited about it because I know how much people love Dale Jr. I got to think that as many people love TJ Majors as they love Dale Jr.
I might even just buy a ticket so I can get that autographed Dale Jr. sock that your guys are
My sister the second we dropped this, my sister texted me. She's like, "Are these prices real? Like, are you guys running some kind of scam?" And I was like, "No, like this is all legit. Like, where do you look at the price points and you're like, where can you go and stay in Vegas for a week?"
I know.
Just the room itself, not alone get to meet Dale Jr., get to see DJD, DBC live in person, front row seating in some of the packages. If not, the 2 VIP packages, you're not going to sit behind the third row. But no, I mean the value of these deals. Like me and Brett talked about this long in advance of this announcement, and he asked me what the value I thought was, and I think the number I gave you was double what it actually is. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the value of these tickets and these packages is phenomenal.
Well, when I tried to just value meeting Dale Jr. and getting a meet and greet with him, and being in the room with him for 15, 20 minutes, getting your picture made with him, getting an autograph from him, I was like, that's got to be worth $5,000, right? I mean, so yeah, no, this package is going to be awesome. It's going to be fun. It's away from the racetrack, which I think is really cool because you can treat it like a Friday night show. We're not messing up the race weekend by doing this, right?
Yeah.
So the folks at Westgate are the reason this is so affordable. Mike Davis played a big role in making this come to life. And we're super duper spot on for this thing coming on to Vegas, and who knows, man? We may see you at a hotel bar after.
You talk about having fun. This is going to be fun because I'm sure we're going to have to go on for the headliner doesn't normally open, but they will this night, and then so we'll be done early, and then
I'm off work
knows,
Saturday.
God knows what we're going to do after that. So I mean, just God, you can't beat it. Like if you've seen any of our live shows at the racetrack. Dale's done live shows at Old Red and Nashville and stuff like that. These are some fun events to attend.
You can go to westgateexperience.com/events/dirty-mo-media live, and to see if you qualify for the VIP experience, call 800-435-0883. And tickets are also available on Ticketmaster as well.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the DBCA main, where we chat all things dirt. I don't know
Jonathan Davenport kicked Clint Boyer's ass last week. I don't know if y'all saw that.
Oh, I did.
Clint was mad.
Clint was trying to catch him.
He was real mad.
He was trying hard to catch him. Clint did a good job, but yeah, he got his ass beat.
I texted Davenport after race. I said, I'm so glad you beat his ass.
It was fun to watch.
It was so fun to watch.
I think Clint was better than Davenport, but Davenport had track position, and there was it got to be where it was kind of one lane around the top, and Clint was not going to be able to go to the bottom and clear him. And Davenport was probably not.
He was just chilling, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going his heart, but he wasn't. Also, at the same time, he's not wanting Clint to slide him, so he's not letting him get that.
You ever see how quick Tony got to leading them dirt races before, and then all of a sudden he stayed like 5 car lengths in front of the guy? I mean, come on.
That slide job Clint pulled off, though, was epic.
I think it surprised Davenport.
It totally surprised him.
Because he's like, oh, shit, and they ran right in the back of him. Clint said it knocked the wheel out of his hand. I just thought it was funny. Like, knowing Clint, I
literally tweeted right before it happened. I was like, he's going to throw a Hail Mary right here. And what did he do? He threw a Hail Mary.
I just thought it was, first of all, Marco ran him off the racetrack, and I thought for sure that Clint was just going to junk him as soon as he got to him. But Marco, I think, was smart enough to realize that was coming, so he got out of the way. And then Clint ended up throwing them big sliders, ended up losing track position. And I texted Brett, I said, oh, he's real mad because everybody else drove around the front stretch and waved at Davenport, and Clint drove straight off the racetrack in 3 and 4 right after they took the checker. I was like, oh, he's mad.
That was by far the best SRX race I've ever seen.
Yeah, for sure.
And I've been watching all 3 years. I don't know what happens with the series. Obviously, Tony has a ton of dirt routes, so it's cool that they end up on dirt tracks like they do. But I personally love the series. I don't know how you get more eyeballs on it. I think you move it up to 7:30, a 7 o'clock time slot if you can. But I hope it sticks around because you're going to grassroots tracks that are literally selling out.
Yeah.
And it's a great TV product when they put on races.
I went to the one at Stafford this year, and listen, I've been to a lot of races at Stafford. They've never been that electric. That crowd was amazing. I've never seen it packed that much. And the only thing I think I tweeted from either Couch Racer or my personal account the other day, I would like to see them bring back the local guy. The Doug Colby won Stafford. Davenport, he's not maybe local to Lucas Oil, but he's the dirt
he's local
guy.
now.
He's a dirt guy. That's one of their guys. Luke Fenhouse ran his ass off at Slinger a couple years ago. I think he finished second. Those are the stories you remember about this series. So I think you bring back that local guy wherever you're at, wherever you're going, and put him up against the All-Stars because that's, they're going to be the most competitive one. We talked about on here, you got a slight identity crisis because you've got the Denny Hamlins and the Kyle Bushes going out there and kicking everybody's ass on the asphalt tracks. You got to bring somebody in that's going to compete with them. Is it Kenny Schrader's not going to run with Denny Hamlin on a half-mile oval?
No.
Just not going to happen. But if you bring in a Doug Colby that's got 1,000 laps at that place, he might compete with him. So, we've seen Priest do that at wherever it was, at Stafford too, until his car failed. But I think that's the one thing that they need to get back to is the local flavor, and to your point, move the start time up because even it's not a long show, but starting at 9 o'clock, it's not ending till 10:30, 11 o'clock.
Your buddy Sunshine got back in the car, right?
Sunshine, yeah, I went. Friday night I landed. They were at Outlaw Speedway. It's probably about 15 minutes from Watkins Glen.
Yeah, it's not far. I went by on the way to the airport.
So I shot over there, hung out with him and Chris, and they actually started on the front row, and Sunshine won. I was talking to him about, I was surprised he was back. I thought he was going to probably take the rest of the year off. They've still got about 10 races left in that series. But they're chasing an owner's title. They're chasing, they same as ours. They chase owner points, and that's where the money's at. And he came back, and I think, I didn't see what results last night. I think he finished fourth, and the guy, Zeb Wise, he's chasing one, but it's just good to see him back, and he didn't miss a beat. Like when I got there just after qualifying, he had set fast time. He ran good in his heat, won the dash, checked out, won the race. So it's good to see him back. Chris didn't have a great weekend, but I'm sure he'll bounce back at some point. Oh, of course. How could you not? But yeah, it was fun. I mean, I don't get to do that very often to go see them guys race, so it's fun. And you watch them on TV. It's kind of like our racing. You watch it on TV, it's one thing. When you go there in person and see these maniacs throw that thing in the corner wide open and just rip the cushion, you're like, what is wrong with them?
There's no comparison in person dirt track racing versus watching on TV.
And it is amazing to see when a local market has a dirt race, NASCAR in town. I mean, I wish they did that more. I think
and we used to. I don't know what happened. We used to align a lot more with the World of Outlaw.
Watkins Glen always has stuff lined up. Saturday night there was a modified race at Chemung, less than an hour away.
That's where Jeff Bodine's from, right?
Chemung, yep. They got like a house right behind the backstretch. Austin Beers won that race.
Yep. And there's just a lot of racing to go to, and I think I want to say the All-Stars did the All-Stars run again? Like a couple hours away. I think they were a little further away. Saturday.
They ran Utica Rome Saturday night, and then they ran, I think, Sellings Grove last night.
Yeah. So bottom line, take your family to a dirt track.
And
you can't watch it on Dirt Vision.
Shout out to the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway, because I took Chloe there Saturday night for Monster Trucks, and she had a blast. So I'd imagine if you live close to a track, they have other events going on too. Fun weekend for the kids. They really do it right.
Retirement may not be at the top of your mind right now, or you get busy and thinking about retirement and savings and other investing strategies get pushed down the to-do list. But our sponsor, Birch Gold Group, makes it really simple for you to get educated about a good way to diversify, and that's considering precious metals. It costs nothing to get educated, and there's no obligation.
Precious metals are a great investment option, TJ. I don't know if you've ever looked into them, but after last week, I got that text message, and there's a wide range of benefits, and my favorite part is just diversifying my portfolio.
With an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, you're in good hands with Birch Gold. It costs nothing to become educated, and that's what we're encouraging you to do. To get your free info kit, text DBC to the number 989898. There's no obligation. Just fill out the brief form. They'll send you all the information you need to get educated on precious metals. That's DBC to 989898.
Let's move on to Reaction Theater.
Oh, Michael McDowell. From the McGoat to the Mick back of the pack. Ain't that a shame? Go 12!
That was the Blaney guy?
That was him.
He's bashing Michael McDowell?
Michael did not have a good day yesterday.
No, 2 penalties, and then the car broke. So.
Well, I don't know. I think the car broke might have been him, too.
Maybe.
I think that's hurt some rumors.
But here's the thing, though. Like, does it matter? He won a stage.
I mean, but it does matter.
He got a playoff point. That's big. Was he going to win stage 2? I don't know. Was he going to win the race? I don't know. But he got a playoff point. It doesn't matter where he finishes in points because he's outside of the top 10. He's not going to get playoff points based on where he is in the standings.
But Jerry Freese is on record. Jerry Freese is the president GM of Front Row. They're on record as saying that they've made the playoffs before. Their goal is to get out of the first round. 7 more points would have gone a long way, and he was the best car, I thought, for that first run. He's
fast.
He was really fast. He won the first stage and was, in position to get 6 more stage points.
But what are the odds? What are the odds of Cinderella showing up 2 weeks in a row?
Listen.
The pit crew, the driver, the car. What are the odds?
Yeah, not great, but. And they fumbled the ball yesterday. That's
hard to win twice.
I mean, he started it when he went through 4 pit boxes instead of 3, right? But he drove back up there. Again, he had a fast car, but I mean, at the end of the day, if he's going to have a bad day, it sucks. But he's still got a playoff point getting out of there.
I want to know who the is that pointed out TJ's smacking of his lips. I've listened to 100 episodes.
and I've yet to listen to it and understand it. And now, all I hear is TJ smacking his damn lips.
I've been avoiding it. I haven't listened to it.
What are you smacking on over there?
I don't know.
I was going to say something, but I'm not.
Yeah, this is probably not the right time to be doing it.
Hey, I just ran into TJ Majors outside of the front stretch at Watkins Glen here. I got to say, he's a really nice guy. Took a picture of me and all that. But the thing that stuck out the most to me, TJ, you are shorter than I thought you were. Take care.
5'7". I mean, I don't know. You want me to?
Are you 5'7"?
Yeah, I'm not going to play center. NBA.
Well, I'm only 5'8" and a half. I thought I was a lot taller.
I might have been a little under the weather last week, but I can't remember. A fan, I might have mentioned this last week. A fan came to me last week, and he's like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" I said, "Good." He said, "Man, you ain't that fat." I was like, "Thanks."
Well, here's the problem: the TV camera adds 10 pounds, and we got 3 of them on us.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
We look 30 pounds heavier in here.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, sure.
Luckily, I'm sweating
Roll
30 of
that.
them off
Yeah,
right now.
yeah,
so
I
I'm
think
good.
they're trying to do something. Maybe this is the weight loss program. We should just move the recording back to like 3 p.m. when it's like 85 in here and maybe 90.
It looked like the dude from the airplane movie sitting there.
Oh, flying the thing, yeah. Yep.
Boy, I'm sick of hearing Andrew Curlin giggle in the background of every podcast he's ever on. But as far as the Sam Mayer move, he drove in way too deep, and sorry about that, Ty Gibbs, but he still had to go on and pass a couple other people for the win, so I say it's justified.
So you're allowed to wreck the guy as long as you got to pass somebody else.
I don't. I mean, yeah, you overdrove.
You talk about how bad Ty's interview was.
Yeah.
Sam's was worse. Like, I think everybody here agrees that we just want to see an Xfinity guy win. What? That was your reasoning. I was thinking about the fans. I know the fans didn't want that guy winning, so I was going to do it. I was going to do everybody a favor.
Listen, I didn't know if Sam Mayer was going to cut it around here. I mean, he was 0 for whatever.
I think he gained a lot of fans on Saturday. The way they were cheering.
2 weeks, back-to-back wins or whatever it was. Like
He was one that was rumored to be out where he's at, and now he's rumored to be in where he's at. So
I feel like Ty just acts. I mean, he is straight the next guy that left that place last year. I mean, and he is straight acting just like that.
Yeah, I just wanted to call in and say what a dirty piece of move that was by Sam Mayer. Not only did he take out the fastest car in Ty Gibbs, but he takes out the second fastest car in Austin Hill, who was in top 5 all day. He needs to get his ass beat by Ty Gibbs again, and then probably get another ass whipping from Austin Hill. Maybe that'll teach him a lesson not to just dive bomb other cars. God, he sucks.
Well, I can't say he sucks. He won a couple races in the last month, but
it's going to say winner, and it's going to say Sam Mayer beside it.
Yeah. And we say out here all the time, win at all costs.
And I'm pretty sure when he gets his paycheck, it's going to probably.
Hey, speaking of win at all costs,
probably gonna be more.
The chick that ran into the dude and the dude that ran into the chick.
What are you talking about?
At Bowman Grey this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Was that the same chick that her husband was in the spotter fight?
No,
I
different
think
people.
that's in a good One Idiot segment.
Oh, trust
Okay,
me.
good.
My
All
notes
right.
for One Idiot.
Back to Reaction Theater. We won't get too far ahead.
What the hell? It's called a bump and run, not a bump and wreck. Why the hell you kicking out the leader and not even winning? What the hell? Do better.
Even the kids crying.
Yeah, I didn't know I didn't know he was friends with Ty.
That was Jason Schultz in the background.
Hey guys, it's Alan Gustafson. Just wanted to call and wish you all a Merry Christmas. If my math is correct, it should be about December 25th right now. So just wanted to call in and wish you guys a happy holidays. Thanks.
I don't. Somebody's got to. Did anybody go back and listen to this? Because I heard a little bits and pieces of it, but it sounded like Alan made it sound like he was given bad information, which is the engineers or the strategists, whatever you want to call them, are the ones telling you like when you're going to run out or what your deal is. And they're talking about. I heard somebody say they talk about flipping a switch, like. And back in the day, we used to have we could flip a switch and run a lap. Now
when you flip a switch, you pit.
Yeah, like now, if you flip the switch, it's over. Like you better get to pit road immediately, especially at a place like Watkins Glen.
I think the communication I heard was that when you flip the switch, you get 3 laps.
No,
that's not.
That's what was said over the
That
radio.
is.
So there's a bladder inside of the fuel tank, and clearly I've never built a fuel tank in my life.
Really?
But what
It's a
the
fuel
switch
cell.
allows you to do is to get the gas that's remaining in that bladder. And under no circumstance at Michigan would you say run 3 more laps. And this is worse than Michigan.
Yeah, anywhere.
No.
The switch was only 1 lap. And I think that they were saying they could run 3 more, and then you could probably – I heard something like you could run – you're going to pass me 2 more times, then flip the switch and come. So – but they were off by a lap.
Who is providing that information?
That's their strategists. Their engineers are they're knowing how much fuel they got in the car, what kind of fuel mileage they've been getting because they're weighing cans when the last pit stop is done.
There's so many factors in it. We went through it with the Xfinity race on Saturday as well. Up front, we were up in the top 5 or whatever there. We didn't, we had a certain fuel mileage number. Well, we had a bad pit stop. We're back there in 12th. You're not running as fast lap times, so you're getting a different fuel number because you're running slower. So we went from not being able to make, from our first set of numbers, we weren't going to make the end of the race. But after the pace slowed down where we were actually going to probably be able to make the end of the race.
Yeah,
so
we did that at Michigan. We had after the restart for the rain, we were 3rd, and they're like, all right, we're good to the end. We make a 3 wide pass for the lead, and they go, okay, we're not good to the end of the stage now. You've got to save a little bit leading because the number changes that much just whether or not you're getting a little bit of draft or if you're leading. So they have it, and then everything factors in. They all right, if we're getting X amount of miles to the gallon, that only is accounting for a full tank. If this guy doesn't get a quarter of a gallon in there or half a gallon, that throws that number off a little bit. So they just ran 1 too many laps, unfortunately, and it sounded like he made a comment on the radio that he got bad information. So I'm assuming he's passing the blame to his engineer or whoever fed him what lap they should pit. But
I have a feeling the guy who built the fuel tank knew that was not accurate.
Sean
Warren, friend of mine, he built them at Stewart-Haas forever. I think if he were sitting here, he'd be like, nah, you ain't going to get 3 laps.
No, they never said 3 laps. That never happened.
I just know that even if you have that number is just a guess still. Yeah. Just so you know, you don't exactly.
You flip the switch, you better pit.
You don't know what exactly is in that.
That's
fuel
what they
cell,
said.
So.
They said that you're going to make this lap, then you're going to flip the switch. You might have to flip the switch and come. It was basically like you're going to flip the switch, or you're going to pass us 2 more times. You're going to flip the switch, then come. But that's a. You're not. They're not saying you're going to flip a switch, run.
So
3
where
laps.
they were off at was the running 2 more laps.
Yeah, they thought that they could run an extra lap and they couldn't. They were just too.
Which is all like this is the other side of the strategy. Most people ran the race back. We went the other way because, fortunately we had speed there too. We made up ground after we ran. We ran all the way to the end of the first deal. But what we were planning on doing is having the shorter stop later for fuel because everyone, which should have helped.
We
us
had to
out.
wait on fuel at the stage break.
Yeah, we weren't gonna have to wait on fuel. So, but it worked. We had speed too, so that helped out. But the fuel thing, it's interesting. Definitely changes the outcome of the race.
Okay, class. Today we're going to be doing some simple math problems. Our first one is 3 plus 1. Anybody want to take a stab at it? How about you, Mr. Gustafson? Alan Gustafson. What is 3 plus 1?
Is that a guy in a falsetto voice, or is that a lady?
I don't know. And the thing, like we talk about, listen, this
sounds like a creepy
we're
teacher
gonna
from
get
the
we're gonna
70s.
get hate for this again on here, but here are the irrational Chase Elliott fans again that want Alan Gustafson fired.
What an idiot!
Like,
yeah. Let's get rid of one of the best.
Like, who are you going to get to replace that guy?
They want Rudy.
They want the guy that just fed him the bad number.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
that's who they replace him
That's-
with.
yeah.
You
They
know,
think they're going to get Rudy if they get rid of Allen.
Oh yeah.
We got one more, and we saved the best for last.
Take me to Watkins Glen. I wanna see I'm a roller spin and get drunk with Brett Griffin and raise hell and throw beer cans and put me there in a carousel. I wanna hear Dale Jr. yell. We got one car spinning. Could you take me to Watkins Glen?
Andrew, do you know what that song that's after?
Yeah, that's Tracy Lawrence, isn't it?
Yeah. What's the song? You ain't supposed to tell him. What is it?
That I don't know.
Starts with a P. P word. Paint me a Birmingham.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I bet you were.
He's gonna giggle.
At least you knew Tracy Lawrence.
Yeah.
Good job, Jeff.
I've seen him in
I'll get
concert.
drunk with you anytime you want, man. You just find me.
Yeah, no.
I need to pull a good one anyway. Freddie never hangs out with me anymore.
Shh. Where were you last week?
In Atlanta with
I
you.
needed
Atlanta with you getting drunk.
That was a bad idea for you. That was a rough couple weeks. Or days, I should say.
All right. Well, to leave an audio message 24/7, head to anchor.fm/doorclear or call us at 704-802-9572. Did I say that right, TJ?
Sure. Yeah.
You should have read that all
7
fucked up. 704-802.
Let's move on to Ask DBC. Don't forget, #AskDBC. Send us your questions. We will keep track and ask the guys the best ones. This first one is from Newt Hocevar for President 2024. If you put all the drivers in a caged wrestling ring, who would win?
Are we talking Cup or Xfinity or both?
I would say
Just throw them all in there.
Austin Hill is going to be hard to beat. I don't know.
I think Harvick comes out in a clear, unanimous decision.
Harvick could use like you'd have like a big guy and a little guy in the wrestling deal, like a tag team. Like he would just have Austin Hill clean. They're an RCR. No, he's not an RCR anymore.
No.
But just have Austin Hill work together. You beat him up, and then I'll take care of it from here.
I think Kevin Harvick, in this day and time, beats the shit out of all of them.
It's very possible. I'm taking Austin Hill.
Austin Hill would be.
He's hard to handle.
Yeah. Y'all have only seen him throw one punch. You haven't seen him fight. Kevin
need-
Harvick trains to fight.
I don't need to.
He trains to wrestle. If Austin Hill misses him, he's going to tie him up like a pretzel and choke him out.
I'm not saying he can't, but I've never seen Kevin Harvick training to fight.
He trains to fight.
But where is this video? Are we talking like jiu-jitsu?
He got into all that MMA crap.
Yeah, but did he actually fight?
I think he just sponsors the. I mean, he manages the.
I
manages
don't
the
think
fighters.
managing an MMA
I think he fights
fighter,
Josh
Brett.
Jones for practice. I think he trains to fighting Josh Jones.
Fair.
I
believe
does
that.
that help or hurt his?
Yeah,
I don't think it hurts. Well, the first thing you got to do with Josh when you fight him is catch him.
And Josh was also.
Hey, listen, Ross is probably potential.
kicker.
Ross has been throwing watermelons around for a while. He's in shape.
Josh Jones was a kicker in sports. Just so you know,
I know. I know.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
he'd kick you in the balls. It'd be
that
hard to
hurt.
come back from
I
that.
think Austin.
Is that allowed or not allowed in the
That's
cage
hard
match?
to recover from.
Depends. I think Busher might be sneakily. Yeah.
Sneakily.
He might be sneaky tough in there. So.
What about Suarez?
Eh.
Took down McDowell at Phoenix those years ago.
I don't really know if taking him down, like pushing him over a hood of a
But
car,
then
is taking
Drew,
him
then
down.
Drew, make Suarez down.
Blickensderfer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's training to fight though, Brett.
This next one,
Who do you think, Casey? Who do you think?
I would say Austin Hill for sure.
For sure.
I mean,
The problem is like if the guys were smart, like it's a cage match, they would all jump Austin Hill.
Yeah,
like
he
they'd
gone.
be
Throw him over the top rope.
I think Harvick
Harvick
Manufacturer Alliance.
Yeah,
is
I
there.
can see Harvick walking behind and pushing them all at Austin, getting them all in the fight.
I do see Harvick flying under the radar. and-
Oh, he'd be super smart about it.
I got
Yeah.
my pick. It's Justin Haley.
just hide under the ring.
He just run around crawling under everybody's legs.
Yeah, first of all, I see Reddick on one of Austin Hill's legs, Justin Haley on the other one, Ty Gibbs on his neck,
So if
taking
we
down
put,
Austin Hill.
If we put you three in the ring, who would win?
Us three?
Yep.
I'm done fighting.
Yeah, I don't even think we fight. We just sit there.
18 years ago. Yeah, no, I'm done.
I'm out.
I'm out.
I try to be done.
I retired.
Doesn't always work.
Mr. Policeman helped me, convince me that it was a good idea to stop fighting, so I'm out.
Another good question. This one's from Bill. What role do spotters play in fuel mileage situations?
We got a switch. We just flip it up there.
Yeah.
Coaching.
Yeah.
A lot of coaching.
The biggest thing is for us now, like we did this recently at Pocono, I want to say it is, and they have, with the extra SMT data that we have now, you can see a lot of the times when you're saving fuel, like they'll say Pocono was run 80% throttle between turn 1 and turn 2. So now they can see Bubba's not doing that, or he is doing that. So you're all right, you're doing good right there. You're saving enough for us, or I need you to do more. And then it's just lap times. Where's the guy that's chasing us? Are we gaining, losing? What are we doing? That's basically.
I don't even know if they really even need that. They know a lap time that they need to hit once they get their fuel numbers, and they can work that into an equation and get a lap time. And
let me ask you this though. The old car, yes, it used to be shoot for this lap time, but then we went through a period of time where guys were lifting earlier, getting back to the throttle later, and on the straightaways, shutting the car off. Are they still shutting the car off?
We haven't been.
We haven't been.
And I'm not saying that wouldn't. I'm not saying that couldn't come into play at a place like Indy or some place like that. Maybe a poke. We've maybe seen it a couple times, but it's not usually guys that are going to win the race. It's guys that are looking to take a 18th and make it into a 6th or something like that. But we don't see as much shutting the car off and stuff like that.
Moving on to What an Idiot, and I have a feeling this could be a long
You guys
segment.
go ahead first because I'm going to be here for an hour.
I'll go first because mine's short and sweet. I was going to pick Andy Lally for being an idiot. Has nothing to do with Rick Ware Racing. Just you're not on the lead lap. Get the hell out of the leader's way. Come on, man. You're a road racer. You should know racing etiquette a little bit better than that. But I'm going to go with my friend from the Teardown, Jeff Gluck, for convincing me to pick Chase Elliott last week on DBC Picks. Someone sent me a message that he said Chase Elliott's name every 3 minutes on last week's Teardown. It's an hour show. This week, I think it's an hour 14. So, Jeff Gluck, congratulations. For the first time in my life, I don't think you're smart. What an idiot.
He must be wearing Jason Schultz pajamas or something.
Yeah, TJ, who you got?
To me, it's kind of plain and simple. This is the guy. I don't remember the driver's name of Bowman Grey, but the guy that he did get spun out. But to go and just what?
I couldn't tell.
No, this is different. Rick.
Different guy.
Yeah, this guy.
modifieds.
Yeah, the modified
Okay.
race.
Oh, the modified's not the okay.
You got a guy running for the championship behind you. He's wearing your bumper out, and I don't think it was intentionally to spin him out, but he did hit him hard to spin him out. Well, this is what makes that place is you go and use your car and you destroy the other guy's car rather than, I just don't think that's why I won't go there and watch a race and then I had to listen to Dillner use words that, did you hear what he said?
I heard what he said.
I didn't know.
His car is, I don't even know how to say it. It was like cattywampus or something. And I actually had to mute it. But, yeah, to go and this guy's running for a championship and to just go spear him under caution one time and then go back and hit him again and I just don't. Yeah, you got spun out, but I didn't. That's just not. I don't agree with that.
I have a what an idiot, and what an idiot somebody told us was the gate guard that was asking Mike Helton and Jim France for their hard cards yesterday that wouldn't let them in. Not an ideal situation, but listen. I don't know if I woke up in a bad mood yesterday about Bowman Grey or whatnot, but it just hit.
You definitely did.
It just hit me hard that this is embarrassing at this point.
It's not even racing.
It's not, and I listen. I love Matt Dillner. I've been friends with Matt Dillner since we're little kids. We come from the same racetrack, Riverhead Raceway. But this has gotten to the point now where, and listen, if you want to tell me, great, 20,000 people show up every week. Yeah, because it's a joke. It's a sideshow. The same reason why Riverhead Raceway sells out for the school bus demolition derby and they don't sell out for the modified race. It's a sideshow. I seen Sean Corshane said, if you nail a poster to the board that says we're going to beat a guy with a bat out front of here in an hour, 20,000 people are probably going to show up to see you do that. So it's just, you can't call it racing. It's an embarrassment to the sport of racing because of that factor. Riverhead Raceway had a deal the other night where they're bouncing off each other and wrecking each other. And you know what they did? They put the guys to the back. The officials stepped in and handled it. That's the reason you see shit like this happen at Bowman Grey is because the officials don't do anything. That guy, as dumb as that is to go tear your car up and knock the point leader out, he knows he has to do that because he knows the racetrack's not going to take any action against Tim Brown because Tim Brown just spun him out. We see, 2 weeks ago, this Amber Lynn and Tommy Neal are fighting in turn one. They wrecked each other. They're fighting in turn one. They're beating on their cars, yada, yada, yada. The track does nothing to stop it. And now this week, they're hooking each other and wrecking each other into the opening.
It went to a whole nother level after the race.
And then there's freaking This guy's trying to steal a golf cart to run into her because his car's wrecked. His wife's on the racetrack yelling at her. Somebody throws a sledgehammer through the girl's windshield of her hauler on the way out. Like,
damn, I
what
missed
the
all the
is going
I
on
thought
here?
the modified race was bad. I missed all the excitement.
This is full-blown Jerry Springer 500 at this point.
And Dillner came at me like, you don't understand. There's great storylines. Chase Robertson, who's a good friend of Mike Robertson, his dad is a good friend of mine. Me and Mike Herman talk to him all the time. He's like, Chase Robertson, that's a great story. He won a championship. Yeah, that's fantastic. Because nobody has any idea about that because they're listening to this other bull that went on all night long over there. Everything you see out of that place is some idiot running through the infield, chasing somebody else. There's people standing around. These cars are running through the infield there. There's guys, cameramen, officials, track workers, whatever it is, standing around in danger. And the fact is that if they don't step in at some point, somebody is going to get seriously hurt at this place. And then what? We had a guy hit a jersey barrier wide open here tonight. There was a modified over the railing, and almost, he went over the wall and is in between the damn grandstands and the wall and the track. I get it. It's a novelty. I've been before. I go sit in a beer garden, get drunk, and laugh at everybody chasing each other around. But it's an embarrassment to the sport of racing, and as for a track that should be one of our most storied in the history of our sport, this is what it's come to. And I don't know if it's always. I know it's always been like that for the last 5-10 years. Maybe it was after that TV show, hyped it up.
Oh, Madhouse definitely hyped it up.
But, it just, you get to a point where you're like, okay, enough is enough, and somebody, it's just, I don't know where it stops. You would hope at some point.
It ain't going to stop.
The official. No, and they have no reason to stop because they sell it out every week.
Madhouse, I couldn't wait to get home on Sunday nights to watch Madhouse when it was on TV. And the rumor was NASCAR bought it and shut it down because it was giving us a bad name. And people are going to buy tickets to this sideshow you're talking about. They're going to sell out. There isn't a big TV package for them. Their livelihood depends on selling tickets. They're going to keep selling tickets with all these antics going on. I guess my question to you is it safe in the stands there? Like, do fans to get in the middle of it and start fighting?
I'm sure I guarantee there's fights in the stands because the one thing about, the place is, it's like Civil War. There's there's the Burt Myers fans or the Myers family fans and the Tim Brown fans or the Chris Fleming fans. And they are very passionate about what they do, but you can't let the inmates run the asylum. There's nobody in control, it seems, over there. And if you start policing it where, all right, you spun that guy out, you're going to the back, maybe this guy don't run through the infield and wreck the guy. Or my only complaint is you're putting people in danger because people now are they're using their car as weapons, and there's people walking around the infield. There's guys driving through the infield trying to get each other.
I was wondering why that guy got on that Ranger-looking thing. And
he was trying to wreck her. He was going to run that thing into her.
I just saw something on there, and I was wondering what was going on.
Because he was the one that was buried over in the jersey barrier, so his car's destroyed. So he's going to get on the golf cart and run that into her. This is ridiculous. It is what it is. And listen, I get it. If you want to go and watch it, I'm not going to knock it because I've gone and done it myself. But you can't call it racing anymore. It's gotten to the point where it's a joke now.
Well, you just hurt Matthew Dillner's feelings.
I did, and I love Matt. And when I see him, we're going to have a constructive argument about it. And that's the only thing that I can take away from it is you can have differing opinions and talk about it, and I get it. He has to defend him. He's the damn track announcer. You know what I mean? He's not going to come out and say, yeah, it's embarrassing. But I know Matthew well enough to know that he would rather see that play out a lot differently on Saturday night than the guy he would like that race to stay green. Brandon Ward, who eventually won the modified championship, win the modified championship instead of all the antics that took place with 3 to go.
Brandon did it. Brandon drove a great race.
Yeah.
I've actually raced against him in the Goodies Dash Series back in the day. Great dude. But you don't see, if it's such a great race, then how come you don't see, a Denny Hamlin going up there? These guys that run all this stuff. Why doesn't Kyle Busch go up there? Where's Larson at? You know what I mean?
It's the same guys that have always been there.
It's close enough to this area, to Charlotte, which is where most.
They shouldn't run modifieds there. They should just run street stocks or something.
I think there's nothing wrong with the modifieds there, and it's a tradition.
It's still not really a.
I mean, you're not going to see a lot of passing, but that's what it is. But at the same point, you can't let these guys.
But the way the way the modifieds are there with the tires, and I mean, stuff gets tore up so much. And
but listen, you don't have to go race there.
No, you don't.
Moving on to DBC picks. Congratulations, TJ. You won with Christopher. I got second with Allmendinger.
So you lost. I don't even. That's really just the bottom
Freddie
line.
got third. Brett got fourth.
With Chase.
Who did I even have?
Elliott.
I don't even remember who the hell I picked. Suarez?
Well, so
You
I go
picked
first.
Suarez,
Man, I
Freddie.
got some guns. It's like I've been saving up for this moment. I got Amarola left. I got, what's his name that you were worried about? Cindric left, and I got Keselowski left. Those are my three that I'm looking at. I'm going to have to go with a guy. I'm going to go with Keselowski, TJ. Don't f it up.
Damn, you picked my pick.
Oh, thanks, guys. Really appreciate it.
I'll take Chris Buescher.
I'll take Kyle Busch.
Wow, you saved Kyle a long time.
Well, he's very good at plate racing. He won Talladega last race. And he actually, did he win? He won some? No,
No,
just
he
Talladega.
could have won Daytona.
He should have won
remember,
Daytona.
And he got us,
I think he's just in the rut, but he'll get out of it eventually.
I'm going Bubba.
Good pick. We're gonna ride around last, so just so you know.
Daytona will be fun. I'm excited.
It's gonna be fun.
It's gonna be hot, but not crazy.
I mean, you
hot.
have to race.
I have to race.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys gonna have to remind me how to do this. It's been a while.
Yeah. When's the last time you spotted a plate race? You did a 5
Talladega. I did Talladega, didn't I? Or did I not?
No, I don't think you did. Did you?
I don't know. I don't think. No, I didn't.
No, you ain't done the race since last
I
Talladega.
did the Daytona qualifying race, and then I did Richmond. Wow, I'm really rusty. Chandler might want to rethink this whole thing. I'm looking forward to it, though. I love Daytona Talladega style racing. I hope I don't say 2x2 all night because that gets on my nerves.
I got news for you, buddy.
And I like to see runs
Probably
form
would.
and guys make moves, and be interesting to see. Obviously, Chandler needs to help his teammates in this situation. So hopefully AJ and Haley can be up there.
I'm going to call him if he wants any spotting on Saturday night. He better help that damn 23 on Friday, whatever.
But we're off to Daytona. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Couple things quick. Shout out to Landon Huffman, friend of ours.
Big winner.
30
grand.
Cars race, $30,000.
Now he can rebuild that limited car that got
Somebody
destroyed.
said he might want to buy a bar with that 30. He's going to have to get a little more than that, but might be a small bar. And shout out to Tommy Baldwin. Tommy obviously announced shortly after the race yesterday that he's stepping away from racing currently to fight a little battle with cancer. I shouldn't say little battle. No battle with cancer is little, but if anybody knows Tommy, they know that he'll more than likely kick cancer's ass because I haven't met many fights he's lost. So think about him. He's done a lot for me in my career, in my life in general. Growing up, I've known Tommy pretty much my whole life. So think about him rocking the old TBR today to show appreciation to him. But heading to Daytona, and we'll go see if we can get him a dub.
All right.
Love it. Have a great week, everyone.
We're off to
Daytona.
Watch TJ wear a Speedo in Daytona. Holla.
Word.